Hi, I'm Keith Aleo with the Zildjian Company, and I'm here with Marc Damoulakis of the Cleveland Orchestra. We're going to talk a little bit about cymbal playing. I find that cymbals is one of the more misunderstood instruments and is more challenging for music educators. So Marc and I thought it would be an opportunity to put something on the Zildjian website about actually playing the instruments. So Marc is here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the cymbal grip and how you actually grip the cymbals. We'll start with the very basics. So Marc, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Obviously there are lots of ways to do this. I think the easiest way, maybe most general way, is to think of it, I like to think of it just like holding a key. So if I hold a key in the door, I put my thumb and my index finger are holding the key. It's not my whole hand isn't gripping a key. It's the same thing with a cymbal. Grab it, thumb and index finger are my fulcrum, and I can have control over the cymbal by having a tight grip and loose wrists, or I can have the cymbal be a little more free by backing up a little bit off of the bell, from the bell on the strap. I know when I was younger and I saw cymbals for the first time, what are these things for? Do you put your hands through them? Which you could put your hands through them if you wanted to try that, but the easiest way, because sometimes you have to play cymbals and a lot of other things, quickly grab the cymbal like that, general grip, it moves with you, and the left hand is the same way, except because you're generally playing at an angle, the cymbal is probably going to have a little more meat on the bell resting, in a resting position like that.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the angle of the cymbals and what position you play them in. Oftentimes in my teaching I see that, and I'm sure you see this too, where students hold the cymbals either too far out, too close to themselves, or they hold them flat. So Marc, tell us a little bit about the angle and how you incorporated that in your playing.
Sure. Again, along with my style, which is having two hands, two wrists, two arms, two cymbals working together, not just this all the time. It's variations of one or the other or both. I play at an angle like that, not straight, not completely a right angle, but 45-degree angle, approximately around there. And I'm very aware, trying to be aware that I'm not squared off, locking my feet to do that, holding my shoulders to do that. I'm trying to find a place that, again, I can be loose and relaxed, so when I make a motion for a cymbal crash, it's loose and relaxed, and the crash is beautiful and open. Okay. The tighter you get, the tighter the crash might sound.
Okay. So when you talked about movement, you talked about right hand and left hand coming up, coming down. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Something I always tell students to start with is just holding the cymbals in a playing position and taking the left hand and coming up through the body and hitting the right hand out of the way in a smooth motion. So you're not locking the cymbal there like this. You're actually hitting it out of the way, so you can step into it however you do that loosely. And then the same with the right down into the left. Not. As soon as you get stiff in the middle and lock, that stops the sound. You want to go down through. And these are practice techniques to eventually help you develop a basic approach to crashing cymbals.
So we talked about left hand into right hand into left hand. Now, like rudiments and like snare drum playing, you oftentimes think about stick height, how high your stick is coming, and are using a downstroke, upstroke, tap. Does that relate to cymbal playing as well?
Yeah, I think especially as a practice technique, and again a way to give your hands, start to develop a sense of touch and a palate for different sounds. You can practice downstroke, upstroke, full stroke, and with the right and the left, I'll show a little with my right hand. A full stroke comes up, it goes down, and it comes back up. It's a natural full stroke. It doesn't stop, it doesn't start and just go fast. The velocity is natural all the way through. So I practice that, just with one hand at a time at first. Natural full strokes. Then there's a downstroke, which is going to give you more articulate, but you don't want it to get harsher. It should still be a full crash. So you never go straight down and stop. It's always rebounds into a tap position. So it would go down, as opposed to, yeah, and you hear, I don't know if you can hear at home, but I hear the sound getting much tighter, nasally sounding. It's not as full and open. Then an upstroke, which is really pulling away. Little contact and then pulling away. Quicker stroke, but you're thinking more about the up in this case, because I'm at an angle, it's going to be up that way. And in that case, it's really from the wrist in my style of playing. So I would do that with both hands, practice that, then can I do full strokes with both hands, upstrokes with both hands at the same time, and downstrokes at the same time, rebounding into a tap position, which would be the last place. Tap would just be there. So you go down, tap, tap, up, stuff like that. Just like basic fundamental snare drum.
And would you do the same thing with your left hand as well? Would you use the same technique of full stroke here?
Yeah.
Tap stroke, downstroke?
Just to develop, again, start getting different variety and a touch into your hands and into your ears, so you'll have things to work with when you come across a piece where you need to use one pair of cymbals for a lot of different sounds and stuff like that.
So obviously you can see that cymbals are a complicated and an expressive instrument. You can produce a number of different sounds. I'll go through the sounds again and we'll see Marc play them. The first sound is the full stroke. The second sound is the downstroke. The third sound is the tap. The fourth sound is the upstroke. We tend to reach for a different pair of cymbals when we want a different sound, but what you're saying is you can produce different sounds by different motions.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I hope that's helped, and I'm very happy to be here with Marc again at the Zildjian factory in Norwell, Massachusetts, and Marc with the Cleveland Orchestra, and I'm Keith Aleo with the Zildjian Company. I hope you've enjoyed this educational moment. Thank you.